For many, Citadel Forged with Fire might seem like something that would only have existed in your wildest dreams. An open-world adventure RPG that throws you into the world of Ignis, filled with different beasts, sprites, orcs, and dragons for you to conquer. The game is truly something that could satisfy so many different crowds. To make an initial simple comparison, it's as if Skyrim decided to have a baby with Harry Potter. It sounds crazy, but it somehow comes together in a nice little package waiting for you to explore. The trailer for the game is impressive and hints at the potential to eventually become a huge hit and massively popular. Does it deliver? Citadel Forged with Fire is currently getting mixed reviews on Steam in early access, which is understandable given the monumental scope and potential of the game. But to truly find out how it is, let's dig into the particulars. You don't get much in the way of storytelling with Citadel Forged with Fire, which is one of our qualms of the game. It seems like a great story could be introduced with the game, but for now, there simply isn't much of a narrative. Right now, it's a missed opportunity that will hopefully be addressed in future updates. The setting takes place in a magical land called Ignis. The size of the map is comparable to your average open world adventure game. It's not so small that you would explore the entire thing quickly, and it's big enough that you'll have plenty of fun traversing the different woods, caves, and mountains. The land is filled with a variety of enemy types, everything from sprites, who strangely look like aliens with fairy wings, to orcs and imps, as well as dragons and everything in between. There are a number of different servers that you can join in Citadel Forged with Fire. You can either join a server for PvP or PvE, and for now, the max amount of players that can be in a server is about 50. You can even join up with friends to create alliances that people can pledge allegiance to. This gives the game a bit of an MMO feel. Players can create their own dedicated servers if they choose, or simply join one that already exists. This can be problematic at times because it causes issues with lag, game crashes, and other problems. Most of the servers we found, however, were stable and only encountered problems a couple of times in our experience. One of the cool things discovered is that there are several servers that had customized aspects of the game. Whether it's XP gains altered to be more rewarding, or regeneration of mana being increased. You should play the game normally to get the experience the developers intended, and then save these custom games for having some fun or experimentation. Obviously, the most important thing is finding a stable server, which shouldn't be difficult. It'll be interesting to see as the popularity of the game grows, how that'll impact the stability of the servers. Once you join a server, you continue by creating a character, either male or female, with a very easy to use creator. There aren't that many options currently for different phases of hair, but there's a wide range of color for skin, hair, and even nails. Not the most sophisticated creator, but certainly not bad. Once you've created your character, you spawn in and start off literally forged in what seems to be a pit of flaming hot magma. Gameplay in Citadel is challenging, rewarding, and fun. The controls are simple enough, and movement is very straightforward. Spells can be bound to weapons and items, and then assigned to keys or buttons on your keyboard or mouse. You can switch your viewpoint from first to third person whenever you'd like. Starting off in Citadel will mostly seem like a labor at first. The thing we seem to struggle with most early on was surviving. The enemies you encounter will make quick work of you if you don't plan out your attacks and use your limited resources wisely. Upon death, you respawn at one of the 3 safe zones on the map, and any unequipped items in your inventory will now be dropped at the spot where you died, in a bit of a Dark Souls-like twist. There's a definite grind to the game as you will find yourself exploring, dying, and starting over many times. You level up fairly quickly early on, and as with most RPG adventure games, it becomes more difficult as you progress through the game. Gaining XP is achieved through different avenues. Every time you pick up a resource, which are abundant throughout the world, you gain XP. Every time you discover a new area of the map, you gain XP. Every time you craft an item or a structure, you gain. And of course, every time you kill an enemy. From what we can tell, the highest achievable level right now is 60. The grind to level up is so that players who simply enjoy the game casually will level up at a pace that might be a little less than fun for them. On the other hand, players who want to power level will certainly have to devise some strategies for the most efficient path to max level. As you progress through the levels, you'll unlock new abilities for spellcasting, crafting, and building. You're rewarded with points in 2 different areas that will beef up your character in different ways. The 2 areas where you spend points are either your primary attributes or the knowledge tree. Primary attributes include health, mana, damage, and carrying capacity. Spending points in any of these areas will increase those attributes and should be used wisely, as it seems there's no way to respec. The knowledge tree is where the real fun is. The points you earn here are called knowledge points, and will unlock a variety of things in 4 different trees. The trees are items, utility, structures, and spells. Each tree has areas locked out until you reach a certain level. The points here also cannot be redistributed, so you want to choose upgrades that will cater to your playstyle. This is one of the parts of the game we really enjoyed. Getting to craft different wands, staffs, potions, and buildings adds another layer to gameplay and the gratification that what you're doing has a purpose and reward. Getting around the world of Ignis is tedious early on, but becomes much easier as you progress. You gain access to spells and armor that help you move more quickly, fast travel portals, different animals to mount, and yes, a broomstick to ride. It might sound a bit ludicrous, and that's because it is. That being said, it is delightfully fun to zip around on your broomstick and quickly became our preferred method of travel. We will say this, however, the ability to fly above your enemies that are stuck on the ground does seem a bit unfair. As long as you're careful, you can attack them and they'll never really be able to damage you. It's a good thing that there are dragons in the game to keep you in check. As you journey through Ignis, you'll find camps, caves, and dungeons filled with a variety of enemies to battle. And if you're in a PvP server, other players to battle as well. The PvP aspect adds an almost battle royale-esque element to the game. When you die, all of your items you had stay at the spot of your death and can be looted by other players. If you're able to get back there, you can recover your items as well. Regardless of whether you play PvP or PvE, dispatching of your foes is fun. With all the different weapons you can craft and spells you can cast, you'll have an assortment of ways to attack. This is nice because it helps keep the game from getting stagnant or stale and keeps you wanting to find new ways to come back and play. You'll also find that the further on your journey you go, the more varied and difficult to kill the enemies become. Bigger, stronger enemies will be more abundant and make you more cautious when going into battle. The sound in Citadel needs a little bit of work, partly because some of the bugs, which is to be expected with these early access games, but also partly due to the fact that it's just not anything too special. The music is your generic adventure music that has your typical flute and dulcimer melodies. The sound effects throughout the game aren't anything to write home about. Don't get us wrong, it's not bad by any means, just didn't have that sense of epicness when going into a battle, or any moments when we heard anything that grabbed our ears' attention and thought, wow, that's unique. There were times where the music would suddenly stop, and you'd be left in silence, only to be bombarded with it unknowingly minutes later. We realize this is a bug issue, and not something to completely judge the game by. Hopefully it gets fixed, and the sound gets a tune-up as development continues. Visually, the game is hot and cold. We are able to run the game on max settings with a GTX 1080, and we were hoping to be blown away. The trailer for the game certainly makes it seem like a visual powerhouse. At some points, the game does deliver. At others, not so much. There were times where graphically, we weren't really impressed by what seems to be some gen-old textures and character models. Then, there would be times where we'd see cool particle effects and lighting that caught our eyes, or would see a sunset at the top of a mountain that looked picturesque. We're sure things will be optimized moving forward, however, and there's nowhere to go but up from here. Citadel Forged with Fire is a game that we could lose hours in and not even realize. The gameplay is fun and varied, and the different layers to it give it enough meat to appease a variety of different play styles. The mashup of one of the best adventure games of all time and elements of one of the most beloved movie franchises of all time was either going to be a horrible mess or a smashing success. So far, it's definitely leaning towards the latter. At the current price of $19.99, you're getting a game worth every penny. Even if the game releases fully polished and at a higher price point, you still feel it'll probably be worth it. With some reworking of its lacking aspects and further improvement upon the things they've done right, Blue Isle Studios might have a sleeping giant on their hands here. It's a huge departure from the studio's other big titles slated for the arrival. There's a ton of potential in Citadel, and it's our hope that once the game releases, it's everything that it could be. If you like what you saw, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to our channel to find out when we drop new content. Thanks for watching.